Alrighty, we are going to call to order this What City of West Fargo Public Library meeting. It's 5 o'clock, Thursday, November 13th. Next item on the agenda is to approve the order of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to approve the agenda in a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign. Our motion carried. Next item on the agenda is public comment. Do we have anybody that signed up for public comment?
We did not.
All right, we will move on to the consent agenda. On the consent agenda, we have items 1 through 3. We are looking to approve the consent agenda.
Quick question on those, just specifically the financial reports. So we get those monthly. Are they always on the consent agenda usually, or is this a unique, they're always on the consent agenda? And that's just showing us previous month expenditures. That's all that is. Okay. So move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to approve and a second to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion? All right, hearing none, those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Our motion carried. Looking at the agenda here, we do not have any regular agenda, old business on the regular agenda. We have new business. Item number 1 for new business is approval of satellite library hours change effective January 1st, 2026.
Thank you. So we opened our satellite library in March, and since then we've been doing an assessment of what our traffic flow patterns have been, what the circulation has been, and we've been sharing those statistics with you at these meetings. Maybe not like the in-depth detail of the hourly traffic flow patterns, but we have been looking at that internally. One of the things that we've noticed is that Fridays are our lowest usage dates for the satellite here in the library. Recently, when we were doing our carpet replacement project in the main library, we had pushed a bunch of people over to use the satellite and we had extended the hours here. We also moved some of our regular programming over to the satellite and City Hall. One of the programs that we moved over here was our regular Monday matinee program. Older members to the board or longer serving might remember that our Monday matinees have been problematic for us at the main library because frequently we are having to turn people away because the room exceeds capacity. We also have an issue with some of the accessibility issues of our space. Folks that need mobility aids are having to use 2 different elevators to get up to that top floor. And if we ever were to have a fire and the elevators were not usable, we have a major safety issue to get folks out of our building if they're there for those programs. It's a bigger concern for that Monday matinee because we do tend to have a higher number of individuals attending that program that are coming with mobility aids. So when we trialed having that program here at City Hall using these screens, we were able to have a lot more people attending the program, no elevators required, bathrooms right there as you come in, and it really solved a lot of issues for us. So that's part of this proposal and why we were thinking maybe switching to a Monday instead of a Friday for our satellite hours over here. We've also been hearing from the public that they would like to have some evening hours on the south part of town. And so that coupled with there's often Monday evening meetings in City Hall, and it would be nice to be able to have the library open as there's additional people in the building coming and going. Maybe they want to go print something off in the library ahead of a meeting that they're attending, or their family's attending a meeting with them. It'd be a space for the family to hang out while another family member is attending a meeting. We feel like it'd be a better use of the facility to be able to have some evening hours on Monday nights. So the proposal before you, along with the memo that I'm sure you read with some additional details, would be to swap our Friday open hours for Monday open hours, and then shifting to having some of that be evening as well. So Monday, we would be open noon to 6:30 PM, and then keeping a Tuesday through Thursday, 10 to 4:30, which is what we are already doing. Any questions from the board?
Jen, I do have a question. So the difference in capacity at the North Library compared to here, what is the difference in the rooms? Is it stark contrast? Is it?
Stark contrast. So our meeting rooms at the main library, the max capacity is 30 people. I believe it's well over 100 in this space here.
And more if you needed it, probably. Or
What, depending on what the fire
the
code
fire
is.
code is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Great. I would move to approve.
I'll second this, very much in favor.
All right, we have a motion to approve the hours change for the satellite library effective January 1st, 2026. Is there any further discussion? All right, hearing none. Those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. All right, motion carried. Next item on the agenda, agenda item number 2, is the City of West Fargo policy status updates. And there will be no action on this.
No
Informational
action.
only.
At our last board meeting, we had discussed bringing forward a large swath of policies for the board's approval as a part of the change in moving from our previous employee handbook to moving policies over into that Lexipol platform, which was previously approved by the board. Since then, in additional conversations that we've had with city administration, and we also had a meeting recently, Leon, our board president, and city administrator Scott, and the mayor and I sat down, and we were meeting about something else, but we also talked about this as well. An idea that came out of that meeting was this board is very used to just approving an employee handbook of policies. And that seemed to be a preference, and there didn't seem to be any strong reason why we couldn't do that again. And so my recommendation was that we do that again. So why don't we take all of those policies that would have been in that employee handbook, those are the policies that the board needs to approve anyway, and bring that to you as a document, like all together, with a presentation from city administration on what has changed then to now, and then let you ask as many questions as you wanted to ask. But then it's coming forward in a format that you're used to seeing, used to approving, and it's not all piecemealed out one at a time, but it's together as this is an employee handbook that you're kind of used to. So if that meets board's approval, then we will move forward with that for the December meeting.
So we can start with kind of we know where we're at.
We know where we're at, so we're with the previous employee handbook that the board had approved at the beginning of the year. The 2025 version of the employee handbook, that's what we're operating under currently. And then we're gonna move to all of those same policies and any additional that would have been added. We'll bring forward all of those changes together as one big document. And they can still be hosted on Lexipol, but it's all together.
Jenna, so thank you, good info. I'm trying to conceptualize, how many pages is this document? Is it a big one? Like my policy documents that I'm used to, 50, 60 pages, is that what we're looking at?
Yeah, I believe the current employee handbook is 50 pages.
And then, thank you, and then will there be will there be a lot of substantive differences compared to the city commission one, or is it just like small little nuanced stuffs that we kind of mentioned in the past, staff and clothing and stuff like that, is that?
As far as the policies that are going to be in there in that grouping, I don't think there's huge substantive changes.
Okay,
No. There are a few policies that are still left for some discussion. There's a couple leave policies that the commission is looking at currently.
Yep, it'll be on Monday's agenda.
Yeah. And so those are kind of like the couple that are left that would be like in that
Got it.
handbook.
and really the motivation for the question is, what will we have discretion on as the board, as the library board? Will we have any discretion? Or
Yep.
we will? Okay.
Yep. So if the library board decides that they want changes and they want to deviate from what the city is doing, you have the legal authority to do so. We would just have a separate policy then from the city. That does complicate things for HR, and this board has chosen not to do that in the past. But it certainly is within your legal authority to do so.
Okay.
How we would do that within the Lexipol system is we kind of have our own folder, and so it would just go in that folder.
Okay.
And then they would know this is the library's version of this policy.
Got it. Does it have to go back to full commission for approval?
No, because that's
Sorry.
us.
Yep.
You have the authority over that.
Thank you so much.
All right, so there's no action on that, but do we have consensus that we're good as a board moving forward with this approach? Looks like it, so I think we're good.
Okay.
All right, next item on the agenda, agenda item number 3 is a grade change approval. We'll be looking for some action on this one too.
Yep, so to provide a little bit more detail on this one as well, I know we have a mixture of longer serving and newer board members. We had done a salary survey in 2024 that had resulted in some wage adjustments for staff members. That was adopted by our library board at the July 2024 meeting. At that meeting, the library board had also requested that city HR do another salary survey in the not-so-distant future. And in preparation for that, we decided to take on a job description project to make sure that all of the job descriptions across all of our positions in the library were as up-to-date and accurate as possible. So at our May meeting, the library board approved all of the updated versions of those job descriptions. At that time, I asked city HR to do a regrade of several of the positions that had had some significant changes, just to make sure with those updates that we were paying people accurately and that those changes hadn't thrown anybody off from where they should have been being paid. I did not get the results from that regrading back until November 3rd. The only position, though, that did indicate a recommendation to change a grade was our marketing and communications specialist. And the recommendation from that regrading was to move from a grade 12 to a grade 13. So, again, just for some historical context, at least for my time here in 2024, when we did those grade changes, the board had approved back pay to the beginning of the year. And so I included numbers in this memo of what that would be if the board chose to do that at this point, if you decided to approve the grade change, so you knew what you were approving. Questions, thoughts?
Mr. Chair, quick question.
Yep.
Jenna, so just so I appreciate all the info, so July 2024, there was a reclassification. And then
That was a citywide effort.
citywide.
Yep.
And then, so this person must not have been on the payroll at that time?
They were.
They were. So they weren't, or they already received a grade increase, or only person?
At that time, they were at market. But then we did a change to their job description to update it.
Okay,
And that's when I asked for the job description to be regraded. So it was a previous job description that was graded at that time in 2024,
got
a
it.
previous version.
Okay. And so in addition to the back pay, the increase, the tax and the PERS contributions, there will also be a 2% increase next year, or whatever the full board increase will be.
Yeah, it usually is whatever their step
Their step.
would be.
Okay. Thank you.
I have a couple questions. So with the back pay and seeing that these results came 10 days ago, I assume they're not factored into the budget for next year, correct?
Correct. However, when we did the budget for 2026, it's going to be fine because it had our previous adult services manager figured into that budget. When we do hire that position, very likely they'll be hired at the beginning of our steps. And so we're going to have wiggle room in there to accommodate this change.
Okay. So my other question then would be for this year, if we're if we're spending less than expected, which it sounds like we are because we have an open position, so we should be okay then.
Yes,
So,
yep, we're
okay.
well
Just
under
wanted to
budget.
make sure we're covered on that end, so I'd hate to see reserves dip down any lower than they need to go.
Yep.
Only other question, unlikely that any of these will come up in the future with maybe a new hire that maybe needs to come in, with experience in a reclassification could happen. Is that possible next, like with the library, the adult services? They could come in a little bit higher if they needed to.
You're wondering about like that position being regraded?
Yeah,
I did ask for all of the manager positions to be looked at again, and they came in at the same grade.
cool, okay. Great. Well, at least from my perspective, I don't really see any reason not to approve this. We got the money. It sounds like it's within budget. It's reasonable. HR made the decision to approve the regrade. So I would move to approve the back pay, and then the increase for the remainder of the year, and then going forward.
All right, we have a motion on the table. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. All right, motion and a second to approve the grade change. Is there any discussion? All right, hearing none. Those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. All right, next item on the agenda item number 4 is the director's reports. Turn it back over to Jenna.
All right. No, that's not a good one. We'll go back to this one. Finances, we are 78% expended through the year. So we are, again, looking great. Our available appropriation for the last little bit here through the end of the year is $583,284. So we should be looking good. I've asked our staff to compile their wish lists for those year-end purchases, those things that we've been holding off on, but we know that we need. So we're kind of looking at what those are. We've had some great patron feedback lately. I actually have several pages of carpet feedback. Yep. Love the carpet, but now you need to paint. The new carpet is much calmer. I don't know if I shared this at a previous meeting. We did have one patron say that our previous carpet was a vertigo trigger for them. And so they're very excited to be able to come to the library more often because it's not triggering for one of their handicaps. The carpet is gorgeous. It will be practical too. Patrons are, they were also very excited to have programs moved down to the satellite library. And now with the hours change that you approved here, we'll have regular programming moving down to this side of town with the matinee, the Monday matinee for sure. And we'll see what else moves down here as well. And the new carpet somehow makes the space look larger. That's been an interesting effect as well. I think the busyness of the previous carpet kind of made things look a little smaller. We also had some really nice compliments on our genre reading challenge that just wrapped up for adults and on our community puzzle table. It's really surprising to see how busy that table actually is. It's over by our audiobooks in that south window area where we have, there's a few shelves of puzzles that you can just take. You don't have to check them out. They're just donated and then we keep them stocked. And then we also have a table sitting there where people just sit and work on a puzzle. The puzzles are quite busy. There was a mom and a daughter that were there recently, and they were absolutely delighted to be the ones to finish the puzzle recently. Our satellite library usage has been looking great. The physical circulation, we had 816 items, 624 people through the doors, and we made 16 library cards in October. At our main library, we had our big push of the West Fargo Public Schools student cards finally came through. So there was over 1,000 of those this year, and then we had 194 regular cards that we made as well. Physical item circulation was over 11,000, and just under 6,000 people through the doors. Our door count was down a little bit in October at the main library because of the carpet. You know, we were closed for several days. And also because of the busyness of October, we elected not to do our big Halloween party like we usually do. We did some other things instead. Circulation, I had a giggle though, looking at those numbers. We were up by one item from last year. Still up by one item. Our electronic circulation is fantastic, though, so another record-breaking month for our Libby usage. like I said, with the door count, slightly down because of the Halloween party and the carpet replacement. And then we were up at the satellite, probably because we pushed people over here. It was really nice to hear feedback from folks that we pushed over here. A lot of people said, you know, I knew it was here, but I had never stopped in or hadn't stopped in yet. A lot of people have started using the computers here. They just hadn't realized that we had computers here. They had been going to the main library for computers, so computer usage is up at the satellite as well. People didn't know they could print closer to home, things like that. So some unintended consequences of that carpet project were to push people to a more convenient location. We've also had some really great social media attention. Just organically, some of the most popular posts, again, were about the carpet. People were pretty excited about that. There was also a lot of interest in our Libby broken record circulation announcement and about the puzzle exchange. We had around 62,000 views in October alone on our social media. So Ellen's been doing really incredible work with that campaign. I'm on social media a lot, and every time on there, there's a new post, there's something else going on. And she's been very strategic about what she's sharing and why, and doing a great job. Outreach Services has really been growing in their circulation. That's really wonderful to see. Last month, some comments from patrons were, one thing I know for sure is that West Fargo librarians are efficient. And Cass is our outreach services coordinator, and one of her special skills is she does such a good job in making notes about what our patrons are interested in, what they have liked, what authors that they have liked, subjects and stuff in their notes, so that when she goes to select books for that stop next time, she can make sure that she has brought along the right things. And so that's where this comment is coming from. She knows what I like. So she's bringing along the right things to those stops when she goes to like our senior centers in particular. And a patron also expressed gratitude that the service comes to them as they cannot drive. This is really a critical connection to the library for a lot of our residents in West Fargo. So you can see on the chart there how that circulation has really grown to now 340 items. When you think about it's just a few stops at senior centers, a few residents. We've been talking about some different strategies to make sure that it's not just the same residents coming at those stops, but that as new people move in, that we're making sure that people know that this service is there, and they're getting signed up for cards and stuff, so. Doing a great job. Our youth program, some recent highlights there. The teens that have given us some feedback about the programs and what they're interested in, why they're coming, teens have said they're coming because they want to make friends. That's something that we hear a lot. The escape room recently was really popular with them. And we had just started a next chapter's story time. So this is for the kids that are like a little bit older than that preschool age group. We had 8 kids at the first session, and at the second one, which was just this last weekend, we had 11. So for a brand new story time that we just started, I feel like that's a really great attendance, especially for like a slightly older, early elementary age group. We've also had a spooky crafternoon that had 52 attendees. That was really popular too. Upstairs, In our teen area, we've started adding some more engagement opportunities as well. There are some teens that hang out, but we wanted to add some additional enticements and activities for them as well. So there are some coloring pages and colored pencils and some like activities on the wall right now. There's an interactive question and some Post-it notes and things asking like what book should be made into a movie, some different things like that. So that's going to be swapped out regularly, and we're hoping to drive some more, teen engagement upstairs in that space. For adult programming, the Writing Circle has been going particularly well lately, almost too well. They've had a lot of writing being brought in for peer review, which is just fantastic. Really great to see that program thriving. We had a Happy Houseplants program with Tristan Vale, who is a master gardener. That was really popular. And the book clubs have been voting on titles for the next round of their discussions. So getting that schedule all set. The genre reading challenge, like I said, just wrapped up. That was popular again with 72 people participating. And some upcoming events. We have Trends in Fraud and Scams with AARP coming up on November 6th. We have a really lovely exhibit that is in our display case by the Red River Doll Club. So in honor of Veterans Day, they have a variety of toys, dolls, and some books highlighting service members and nurses that have served in the military, and a little bit of American history and how that's been showcased through toys. So please come check that out. Upstairs in our hallway, we also have a new artist on display, Brandy Malarkey. This is her Color Squared series of experimental art. It's bright and bold and really fun. You might recognize some of those pieces if you've been through the Fargo airport lately. They were there recently as well. And if you haven't been in, I just put in some pictures of the new carpet as well. So there's our calmer children's area with the new carpet. Another fun thing that happened on Halloween, a bunch of our staff dressed up. Halloween was a story time day, so all the kids that came in, a bunch of the kids were dressed up, but also the Y, which we share a building with, brought a bunch of their classes through to trick or treat in the library, so they got to see staff members dressed up, and we got to see them dressed up as well. So we shared treats with them and complimented their costumes, and they got to see ours too. There was a baby cow that was very fascinated with our cow communications specialist. So that was pretty fun. And that's all I have for you tonight. Any other questions from the board that I can answer for you?
Not questions, but kudos to the staff. This is wonderful.
Yeah, it was always a great job. It's looking good, so. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, so looking at the agenda, the next thing is to adjourn, so I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to adjourn. We stand adjourned.